and welcome to the Habits and Home Show. I'm your host, Lisa Lazat, and I help busy moms bring order to their homes by downsizing and decluttering and ditching old habits in exchange for systems that bring peace and more enjoyment to their lives. If you're a mom trying to show the love of Jesus to your family, but the clutter in your home keeps you overwhelmed and frustrated, you have come to the right place. On this podcast, you will hear easy step-by-step tips to declutter and create systems so you can keep your home organized and finally walk in the peace God has promised you. Need some accountability? I've got you covered there too. Join the Accountability Club, a community of like-minded mamas decluttering and systemizing our homes together. Are you ready, friend? Let's get started. Hey friends, and welcome to the show. If you're anything like me, you've had seasons where life feels like it's coming at you way too fast. You might be in that season right now, and you can't stop things from happening. They're just coming at you. Whether it's appointments, laundry piles, kids needing your attention, and yet you might have that nagging voice in your head saying, you should be doing more. But I want to invite you to pause and reflect during this podcast episode on something really simple but very powerful. Not everything in life needs to be rushed, and not everything should take forever. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." This means that part of living a peaceful, Christ-centered life is knowing what to slow down and what to speed up. Right? It's not a matter of being all in or all out. It's this delicate balance of knowing what to slow down and what to speed up. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's episode. Now, before I dive into these, I want you to choose something that you're going to work on in your home. And I want you to be motivated to take action on that small project while you listen. Okay, so let's start with 5 things you should slow down. Number 1, unnecessary purchases. Now, we've been talking about this on the last couple of episodes about how to overcome overspending, right? So it's so easy. It's so easy to click the buy now button on Amazon, especially when you're tired, overwhelmed, or just trying to feel a little spark of joy in your day, right? We get that high of buying something. The package shows up 2 days later, and for a moment, it feels good, right? But then it ends up on the counter, the floor, or buried in a closet you already struggle to keep organized. But let me tell you, Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools, they gulp theirs down." This verse reminds me that wisdom often looks like waiting. It looks like pausing before consuming. Quick purchases, especially emotional ones, can lead to clutter, disorganization, debt, and guilt. And those feelings, they don't help you feel more peaceful in your home. They usually make things worse. So instead of giving into the moment, try this instead. Ask yourself, do I really need this right now? Check to see if you already have something that does the same job in your home, or maybe borrow it from a friend. Maybe you don't need to buy books in your reading hobby. Maybe you can just go to the library or post on Facebook, "Hey, I need to be a part of a book rotation group. Who wants to be in this with me?" Imagine where these things are going to live in your home when you buy them. Do they have a place? Can you already imagine where they're going to live in your home? Put in your cart. Put it in your cart. Whatever you're thinking about purchasing, put it in your cart and wait for 24 hours. Most of the time, you won't even want that thing the next day. It's not about never buying anything. Trust me, there are things that we're going to buy, whether we want to or we have to. But this waiting, this pausing is about making purchases on purpose instead of on impulse. Your home isn't a storage unit, right? It's a place for peace, presence, and connection. And every unnecessary purchase chips away at that little by little. It is truly a slow fade. So what I want you to do is take a breath, slow down, know that you are not missing out. You are making room for what truly matters in your life. Number 2, saying yes to commitments. So I want you to slow down before you say yes to commitments. If your calendar is overflowing, if you're moving from one thing to the next without time to breathe, think, or rest, then it's probably time to slow down your yeses. As moms, especially those of us with ADHD or executive function challenges, it can feel like we're always behind, like we should be doing more, or that we're saying yes is responsible, helpful, and even a spiritual thing to do. But James 5:12 gently reminds us, let your yes be yes and your no, no. This means your yes should come from a place of peace and clarity, not guilt or pressure. God never called you to be everything to everyone. He called you to be faithful, not frantic. It's okay to say no. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to protect your peace and your family's rhythm. When your schedule is jam-packed, there's no margin. There's no space to breathe, no room to think. And that kind of pressure leads to irritability, burnout, and disconnection from the people who matter most to you. So before you say yes to something new, I want you to ask yourself, is this truly a good fit for this season of life? Does this align with what God is asking me to do right now? Will saying yes to this mean saying no to something more important, like rest, family, time, or margin in your week? You don't need to explain or justify your no. You absolutely do not. A simple, kind, and firm, that just won't work out for us right now, is simply good enough. Your time is sacred. Steward it prayerfully and trust that your obedience to slow down is just as valuable as any yes could ever offer. Number 3, your morning routine. Mornings have the power to set the tone for your entire day. But when you're rushing around, trying to get the kids dressed, finding the missing shoe, respond to texts, unload the dishwasher, and start your day all at once, you end up feeling frazzled and behind before the clock even hits 8 a.m. The truth is, chaos in the morning often leads to chaos in the home. Psalm 5:3 says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and I wait expectantly." This verse reminds us that mornings are a gift. They're a fresh start, a chance to invite God in before the world starts piling on you from every direction. You don't need an hour-long quiet time or a Pinterest-worthy routine. Even 5 quiet minutes, just you, your coffee, and some deep breaths can ground you. You can say a short prayer, write down your top 3 tasks for the day, or just sit in silence and be before the noise begins. So here are a few ideas to help you slow your mornings down. Wake up before your kids. Leave your phone on the charger until after you've had some time to breathe. Don't wake up and start scrolling. That just creates a lot of busyness and a lot of noise in your life from the very beginning. Start the day with gratitude and prayer, even if it is just a simple, Lord, help me with this day. Lord, give me the peace that passes all understanding over this day. Just that quick little acknowledgement that you are grounded in the Lord before you even start your day. Prep something the night before. Think about what you can do the night before to allow you a gentle and slow morning the next day. And I want you to resist the urge to multitask. Start slow and simple. Okay, don't do a whole bunch of tasks early in the morning. Have your bare minimum 3 steps in your morning routine and let that be enough. Close down the noise from looking at influencers and their picture perfect morning routine and don't listen to them. You create your own slow morning routines. So you don't have to master your mornings overnight, but protecting a little pocket of that peace at the start of your day can ripple out into the rest of your home. Slow mornings create space for connection with God, yourself, and with your family. And that, my friends, is worth protecting. Number 4, I want you to slow down the decluttering of emotional attachments. Letting go of stuff is rarely just about the stuff. It's the memory tied to your child's baby clothes, it's the guilt over the money you spend, and it's also the hope that maybe one day you'll use those things again. And that's okay. You're not broken for finding it to be hard to let these things go. You are human. Decluttering emotional attachments takes more than a trash bag and a donation box. It takes hard work. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients one-on-one and inside the Accountability Club. We do a lot of hard work. John 15:2 says, "He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. While every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes it so that it can be even more fruitful." Pruning is never pointless. It is purposeful. And it's not punishment. It is preparation. When God invites us to let go, it's not to leave us empty. It's to create space for more life, more peace, and more fruit. That includes in our homes. So here's what I want you to do to slow down and have that spirit-filled pruning. So hold an item and acknowledge the memory and say, "This meant something to me." I want you to pray through the process. Ask God, is it time to let this thing go? And I want you to remind yourself of what you're moving forward to. You're moving forward to peace, simplicity, and freedom. And I want you to give yourself the permission to take breaks and save harder items for later. So if you come across a certain item that it's really hard to let go, just save that for later. Maybe after some growing, you'll come back to that item and then you'll be ready to let that go. And I want you to let yourself be given grace. You're not failing if it takes time. You are being faithful. And if you cry a little while you're decluttering, that's okay too. God is in those tears. He sees your heart and he's gently pruning. He's not going to hurt you. It's not meant to hurt you, but it's to help you grow and live more freely. So let the process be slow. Let it be sacred. You're not just organizing your home. You're making space for the life God wants you to live. Number 5, talking with your kids. In the busyness of managing a household, it's easy to slip into survival mode, just getting through the to-dos, the messes, the sibling fights, and the constant noise. We spend so much talking at our kids, "Hurry up, pick that up, stop doing that," that we sometimes forget to slow down and talk with them. Proverbs 25 says, "The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out." Your child's heart is like a well. It takes time, stillness, and attention to draw out what's really going on inside. When we slow down and create space for real conversation, we show them that they matter. Not just their behavior, but their thoughts, their feelings, their voice. Here are a few ways to practice slowing down and talking with your kids. Pause what you're doing and make eye contact, even for just 60 seconds. Ask open-ended questions. What was the best part of your day? Or is there anything on your mind? Resist the urge to fix everything right away. Just listen and be present. I am really learning this with my teenagers right now. Use car rides, bedtime, or dishwashing time as natural opportunities to connect. Riding in the car and laying down with my kids at night, even though they're teenagers, is some of the best times to talk with my kids. They are open and receptive to hear. They're open to share with me. It's really a beautiful moment, and I want to seize those opportunities. Also, pray with them and for them aloud. Let them hear you bringing their concerns to God. Because you know what? The dishes will wait. The laundry will still be there. But these little moments, they're forming your child's identity, their trust in you, and their view of God. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to be present. Slowing down to talk with your kids helps you stay rooted in what really matters: connection, discipleship, and love. And those are the things that bear fruit for a lifetime. All right, now let's dive in to the 5 things I want you to speed up. We've covered the 5 things that we're going to work on slowing down, but there are some opportunities for us to get a little faster in some areas, and here they are. Number 1, forgiveness, especially of yourself. If there's one thing that weighs heavy on the hearts of so many moms, it's guilt. Guilt over the mess, guilt over missed appointments, guilt over how much you spent, guilt over how overwhelmed you feel in a season that's supposed to be full of joy. And the truth is, we often are our own hardest critics. We speak to ourselves in ways we would never speak to a friend or even our own child. But Colossians 3:13 reminds us, bear with each other and forgive one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. That includes forgiving yourself. God isn't holding your mistakes over your head. He's not waiting for you to clean up perfectly before He accepts you. His grace covers the moments you lost your patience, the piles you haven't tackled yet, and the purchases you now regret. You are not a mess, my friend. You are not your past choices. You are forgiven, redeemed, and deeply loved. So here are a few ways to practice self-forgiveness in your home and in your life. Speak truth over yourself. I want you to say things like, I'm learning, I'm growing. I don't have to be perfect to make progress. If it is not something that you would say to your adult daughter one day, don't say or think of it of yourself. I want you to pray honestly. Lord, I feel ashamed of whatever that is. Help me to receive your forgiveness and to move forward. Release the guilt by taking small action steps instead of staying stuck. So if you feel like you made an unnecessary purchase, well, give that purchase to somebody who can actually use it and learn from your mistakes. Write down what you would tell a friend in your shoes, or write what you would tell your adult daughter, like a daughter diary, and say that to yourself. Would you say that to yourself? Remember who you are in Christ. You are not defined by what you did yesterday, but by the grace He gives you today. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean ignoring your mistakes. It means acknowledging them with compassion and choosing not to stay stuck there. The sooner you release yourself from shame, the sooner you can walk in peace, live with intention, and build a home that reflects grace and not perfection. Number 2, letting go of clutter. So we're going to speed up when we're letting go of clutter. Sometimes clutter sticks around not because we love it, but simply because it's familiar. It's been sitting on that shelf, in that drawer, or in the corner for so long that we've stopped even seeing it. It just blends in like background noise in our homes and in our minds. But clutter, both physical and emotional, has a way of weighing us down more than we even realize. Hebrews 12:1 encourages us with this. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out before us. Everything that hinders. That includes the things that seem small or harmless, but end up cluttering our space and stealing our peace. Maybe it's the clothes that don't fit, or the craft supplies that you feel guilty for not using, or the gift you kept just because you didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. You don't need to declutter your whole house in a day. I'm not talking about that. And you don't need a weekend-long overhaul. What you do need is a moment of clarity and the courage to let things go. So here's how to start. And remember, we're trying to declutter a little bit faster. I want you to pick up one item, just one. I want you to hold it and I want you to ask yourself, is this thing helping me or is it holding me back? If it's not serving you, thank God for what it is and release it. Put it in the donation bin or in a trash bag right away. Don't overthink it. Take a deep breath and celebrate your progress. Move on to the next thing. Letting go doesn't mean you're being wasteful, okay? It means that you are making room for peace, for your simplicity, for what matters most in your life. You were never meant to run your race tangled in clutter. Can you just imagine trying to run a race with weights on your ankles tied behind you and you're dragging them like those soda cans that they put on the backs of cars after weddings? Can you imagine running a race like that? Well, that's what we're doing when we're running this race of life with all this weight of clutter. Letting go little by little will help you move forward with more freedom and less stress. Amen. And thank you, Jesus, for that. Number 3, cleaning task. Friends, we've got to get a little bit faster in how we clean. Have you ever started cleaning in one area of your house only to realize that hours have passed by and you've hardly even finished? It's easy, so easy to get distracted, whether it's the ping of your phone, a child asking for something, or your mind jumping from one task to the next. You might start wiping down the counters and end up reorganizing the pantry or folding laundry, all the while your original task remains unfinished. That's the reality of so many of us, especially when we're juggling so many things at once. The problem is that when we allow distractions to take over, cleaning takes way longer than it should. We get caught in a cycle of starting tasks and never finishing them, or bouncing from one task to another, leaving things undone. Before we know it, we've wasted so much time without accomplishing much at all. The Bible reminds us in 1 Corinthians 14:40. But everything should be done in a fitting and orderly way. So when it comes to cleaning, this applies not only to the way we clean, but also how we focus our energy. Cleaning doesn't have to be a time-consuming or overwhelming process. It just takes a little intention and a shift in our focus. So here are some practical ways to clean faster and to stay focused. First of all, put your phone down. Put it on Do Not Disturb if you have to. Don't scroll on social media while you're trying to clean. Give each of your tasks a certain amount of time or a set time in your mind. If you're cleaning the kitchen, give yourself 15 minutes and just train yourself to work faster. It's kind of like if you're training yourself to run a race, you're not going to start out at an 8-minute mile. No, you're going to start at probably like a 20-minute mile. And the more that you do it, the faster you're going to get. The same is so with cleaning. The more that you clean, the more you are not going to want to waste your time cleaning, and you're going to do it faster if you stay focused. Break down your bigger task into smaller tasks. I personally encourage you to start with the habit of an evening reset. Take the layout of your house. Start in the kitchen, reset your kitchen, and then go to the next room, reset that room, go to the next room, all throughout your house. You probably have like 4 or 5 areas in the evening flow, in your natural evening flow. And just quickly, friends, don't make it take forever. Quickly reset your home. It is not about perfection. It is about getting it done as quickly as possible so that you can actually spend time doing the things that you want to do. Cleaning doesn't have to be this endless, time-draining task, because by staying focused, Setting your boundaries on distractions and sticking to one task at a time, you can clean up faster and more effectively. Like I said, it gives you more time doing the things that matter most to you. Spending quality moments with your family, enjoying your hobbies, or even starting hobbies that you never think you have time for, or simply resting. Those are the things that you should be doing. So stop wasting time by getting sidetracked with distractions. The quicker and more focused you are with cleaning, the more you'll have time to do the things that bring you peace and joy in your life. Number 4, I want you to be quicker at asking for help. As a mom, it's easy to feel like you have to do everything yourself. You may feel bad for asking your spouse or your kids to help because you don't want to burden them, or you're afraid of hearing their grumbling or complaints. Maybe you think that you can just do it better and faster yourself. It's easier to handle things yourself than to risk disappointment when someone else doesn't do it the way you like. But here's the truth. You don't have to do it all on your own. And asking for help doesn't make you a weak person. It makes you human. In Galatians 6:2, we are reminded, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. So, we weren't meant to carry the weight of everything ourselves, and it's okay to ask others for support. Even though it can feel uncomfortable, especially when it seems easier to just handle them alone, asking for help is an act of strength. And also remember, whatever you do now as a mom, as a parent, you are setting the example for what you desire for your kids to follow in the future. Do you want your daughter to do everything herself and never ask for help because she expects perfection? Or she doesn't want to burden her spouse, her husband, or her children, or she's too afraid to ask for help because she doesn't want to hear their complaints? No. So set the example now of asking for help and expecting that help from your family. You might hesitate to ask for help because you're afraid of hearing complaints. Maybe you're worried your spouse will grumble or your kids will groan when you ask them to pitch in. It's true that we sometimes have to deal with the resistance, but it's also an opportunity to teach patience and cooperation. Instead of getting upset, acknowledge your frustration, but still press on. Over time, they'll learn to help without the resistance. You might even be surprised at how often they're willing to step in once they see that you're trusting them. So speaking of trust, sometimes we don't ask because we don't trust others to do the right thing. A common struggle is the thought, it'll just be easier if I do it myself. They won't do it right and I'll be disappointed. We might feel like no one can clean, organize, or do things the way we would. But here's the thing. Asking for help doesn't require perfection, okay? And if you are requiring perfection, then you are going to be sorely disappointed time and time again, okay? It's not about how something gets done. It's about attempting to do that task so that you give them the opportunity to get better at it. At any skill that someone is trying to get better at, they need the opportunity to practice. And the only way to practice is by asking them over and over again. Okay? So I want you to remember that when you ask for help, you are not a failure. It is a wise thing to ask for help. God created us for community, and we are meant to share the burdens for each other. When you ask for help from your family, you're not only lightening your load, but you're teaching them the value of contributing to the family. Number 5, and the last thing I want you to do faster, is completing tasks right away instead of putting them off if you don't feel like doing them or because they seem too overwhelming, okay? I want you to do things right now instead of procrastinating. What often happens when we procrastinate is that a task becomes much bigger in our minds than it really is. We mentally carry it around with us, letting it sit on the back of our minds, weighing us down. The longer we wait the more it feels like an insurmountable task. And this mental burden starts to take a toll on our focus and our peace of mind. Proverbs 12:27 reminds us, "The lazy do not roast any game, but the diligent feed on the riches of the hunt." When we procrastinate, we don't make progress. But when we act immediately, even on a small task, we free ourselves from the mental clutter and gain momentum. So here's how we can speed up completing tasks and stop procrastinating. Do it now, no matter how small. If it only takes a few minutes, just do it. Whether it's responding to an email, making a phone call, or picking up an item that's out of place. If it's a small task, tackle it right away. The sooner you take care of it, the less likely it is to build up in your mind and become a source of stress. Break it down. Big tasks can often feel paralyzing. Instead of looking at the massive project and thinking, "Oh, I'll get to it later," break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. Each part you complete gives you a sense of accomplishment and reduces your mental burden. Maybe you might need to break that down and write it in a list so that you can check off each step. Address the mental burden. When you delay tasks, they linger in your thoughts, causing unnecessary stress. Every time you think about something you put off, it chips away at your peace. Completing tasks as soon as they come up prevents this mental overload. You clear the mental overload and free up space in your mind for more important things. Maybe you might need to set a timer. If you're really struggling to get started, set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. Often, once you get going, you'll find it's easier to keep going. The fear of a daunting task can often be worse than the task itself. The overthinking of that task truly is often worse than the task itself. And I want you to celebrate your small wins, whatever that may mean. Just even getting the task done is a celebration in itself. The mental burden of procrastination is so real, y'all. The longer we carry tasks around in our minds, the heavier they become. Truly, my very first episode on this podcast was how I was starting to overcome procrastination. And I am still to this day working to overcome procrastination. But I'm telling you, when we make the choice to complete tasks right away, we not only clear our minds, but we also make space for joy, for better focus and peace in our life. And y'all, I am experiencing all those things, and I pray that you do too. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode of 5 things that we need to slow down on, but then 5 things we can get faster at. Remember, it is a balancing act. We are not all in or all out. We are daily learning what we need to slow down and to get faster at. All right, friends, if you need help decluttering one-on-one with me or in our group program, you can find all of that information in the description below. All right, I will see you right here next time on the Habits and Home Show. Hey friend, before you go, I wanted to tell you more about the Accountability Club. Each month, we'll tackle a new space in our homes and work together to declutter and set up systems so we can easily maintain order without getting overwhelmed. You'll get a new decluttering tutorial each month, the coaching and accountability you need to actually follow through, and encouragement without judgment from other Christian moms in a safe environment. And guess what? The entire club is off of social media, so you don't have to worry about distractions the world may throw at you. Sweet friend, if you're feeling stuck in your decluttering journey, this is the place for you. Click the link below to try out the Accountability Club and start decluttering today.